That's reserved right there, but
Okay.
it's to work.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
Hi. So you see what I mean?
I do.
So just,
Right here.
should I go like
Right
right
here.
You want to
here?
stay in your chair?
Yeah.
I might as well.
I would do immediately right here, and then that probably would fill in where it says reserved.
Kind of rid of the chair. Why can't you put it out of the
Right,
way?
right over here.
Why don't I just sit here?
Just right here. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Just put it right here. Joe would do that. My husband
All right.
will.
Hi, Joe.
Nice.
That's good.
I'll go pick the floor, okay?
Welcome to the Carthage College Baccalaureate service. To ensure that everyone may enjoy the proceedings without distraction, we request at this time that you silence phones, cameras, watches, and other electronic devices that may produce sound. We are extremely grateful to the families and friends who have become part of the Carthage community while supporting their students, and we join you in celebrating their academic achievements today.
Good evening. My name is Cara Baylor, and I serve here as the campus pastor, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here tonight. Let me answer the one question that's on everyone's mind. What exactly is a baccalaureate? It is believed that the tradition started at Oxford University in 1432, when each bachelor was required to deliver a sermon in Latin as part of his academic requirements. Being that many of the universities in America were founded to educate ministers, the practice of baccalaureate services continued. Carthage, too, has a long history of baccalaureate celebrations. Rooted in the Lutheran tradition and started by Lutherans in rural Illinois, faith and learning have gone hand in hand since its founding. Over the years, Carthage moved locations many times, and as the world has changed, so has the makeup of the student body. Once mainly a college built by and for Lutherans, Carthage is now a college deeply rooted in its Lutheran tradition, which has called it to live in a spirit of radical hospitality and welcome to all. The Carthage community is made up of many different Christian traditions, from Roman Catholic to Orthodox. Each of the three largest Lutheran bodies are represented in our student body: ELCA, LCMS, and WELS, along with other denominations and non-denominational traditions. The Carthage community includes members of the other Abrahamic traditions of Judaism and Islam. We will also find atheists, Unitarian, pagans, and more. All these traditions have wisdom to share, and the Carthage community is stronger because of our diversity and our willingness to love our own traditions while being open to learning from each other. Tonight's program is not a worship service. No one is going to be asked to state a creed or make a statement of faith. We will sing together, we will hear poetry and sacred readings together. We will light candles together, and we will listen to our brothers and sisters whom we are connected to through our love for Carthage. It is a program that lifts up the leaders of the Carthage community from our varied faith traditions. It is a celebration of our diversity while seeing the unity we share as we go out into the world to share our gifts for the common good of all humanity. One of my favorite quotes is attributed to Gandhi. It is, "The faith tradition you were born into is your home, with the windows open so that the winds of other traditions can blow through and bring their unique oxygen." Tonight is about loving your belief system, whatever that might be, while standing side by side with those who believe differently from you. Tonight we learn from each other. Tonight is about celebrating the learning and wisdom we all have to share, and how that wisdom can fill us with peace. Tonight is truly for everyone. Tonight is truly about peace. There are many people to thank, the planning committee, our speakers and readers, and all of you for being here tonight. Thanks to the Carthage Choir for sharing your gift of song with us tonight. And I especially want to thank all the people, the students, the faculty, and staff that came together to fold about 1,000 cranes in 3 weeks so that they could be a part of our service tonight. Thank you for being here, and please pray with me. God of all goodness and life, we give you thanks for gathering us here this evening to share our wisdom and learning with one another. Open our hearts to dare to love as you love. Open our ears to hear and ponder the gracious words of others. Open our eyes to see that you move through this world in ways that are beyond our human understanding. Open our minds to imagine a world of peace and justice for all people. Bless the graduating class of 2017 at Carthage. Grant them the wisdom and courage to go out into the world believing in their hearts that you have called them to shine light into the darkness of our world. Help each of us to know that we are truly stronger together and that we are bound together so that we can lift up many in this world. We pray this in your holy name. Amen. I invite you to stand as we sing Let There Be Peace on Earth, which is printed in your bulletin.
I would also like to offer my hello and welcome. I am the flock, or the First Lady of Carthage College, which is the classy way for the college to introduce and welcome me. I had a hard time getting used to that in the beginning, but I realized later that it was much nicer than being sort of dubbed the president's wife. So I like the flock. I like that. When Pastor Carr invited me to speak today, she said that the theme of the baccalaureate was peace, and she asked me to reflect on my 5 years at Carthage and what has helped me find peace since I arrived. I didn't want to be an observer when I came here. I wanted to be involved as the First Lady. I wanted to meet people from all walks of life at Carthage. So I watched, I listened, I participated, I befriended, I was befriended, and I learned a great deal. I'm going to reminisce just for a moment, and I'm hoping when I use the word we, some of you faculty, some of you students will remember that you, in fact, were part of that we. We went to school, Western heritage. was one of the things I kept hearing when I came to Carthage. Oh, Western Heritage, all the freshmen have to take Western Heritage. It's terrifying, it's horrible. I thought, I have to take Western Heritage. So Miss Mickey, Rachel Mickey, are you up there somewhere, out here? Anybody in my freshman Western Heritage class here today? Oh, that was an amazing experience. Professor McShane was our teacher, and he was wonderful. Sonia Vasquez, are you here? She and I took costume design together with Kim Instanus. Again, amazing, and she was so incredibly creative. We got involved with women's issues by raising awareness of domestic and sexual violence against women. 1 Billion Rising flash mob. About 20 of us women. It was the brainchild of Professor Pam Smiley and Professor Stacy Pottinger. We pulled it off in the cafeteria one day. I don't know how surprised the students were. I think it was slowly seeping out as we were nervously gathering around. And we practiced the dance moves that 1 billion practiced across the world that Pink put together in her video. So I would like to demonstrate for you, but I guess I probably won't. But if you want to check out 1 Billion Rising on YouTube and watch Pink do it, you'll know exactly what we look like. We also walked a mile in her shoes. Any guys out there walk mile in the shoes? Yep. 4 times around the track in 4-inch red spike heels. And it was a challenge. It really was. I had a team of my own that was made up of the maintenance guys. Mac McCarrick, Paul Rebecki, Eddie Davalos, Mark Willems all walked the track for me. And Mark won the Tortoise Award that day because he was the last to finish. But what nobody realized was he had actually done an extra lap. So he walked 1.25 miles. And of those guys, he was the only one that volunteered to do it the next time it came around because they were not in good shape. We spoke about our spiritual journeys in Tuesday Chapel because of the amazing Pastor Cara, who welcomed us from all religions and backgrounds, Lutherans, Presbyterians, Catholics, Jews, Muslims, agnostics, and even atheists. We learned about one another's questions and beliefs, and we had an opportunity to talk about them. We raised money for cancer at the Carthage Relay for Life. I'm sure there were students here that were involved in that at one point or another. Professors Walter Smith, Marla Poli, Pastor Cara, me, and a number of other students over the past 5 years shared their stories of their cancer journeys. And one good friend of mine, who is a Carthage alum, Clayton Diskerud, class of 58, personally, with he and his wife Shirley, raised $15,000 during his 5 years on my team for the Carthage Relay, which was pretty amazing. And the most amazing thing about Clayton, he not only did that for the Carthage Relay, he did it for his hometown relay as well. So pretty amazing guy. We grieved. Some of us lost a parent, a grandparent, a spouse, a friend, or even an entire family. We comforted and offered help and support when 2 of our women on the EVS staff lost young sons to gun violence. And those sons weren't a whole lot older than you that are about to graduate. We shared our love of writing. The incredible Jean Preston, who runs the Writing Center here, and the equally amazing Ines Dremen, who is also graduating, established a monthly writing program with battered women. In return, they shared their dreams, their talents, their love and hope with us. Amazing women who struggle daily to reclaim a normal life. Just remarkable. We ate lunch together, we had coffee, we bowled and golfed. We drummed on garbage cans at the midnight breakfast. We went to the women's Christmas party together. We invited each other to our homes. We stitched and cooked together. We read Shakespeare sonnets. We collected prom dresses. We stitched supplies for the Days for Girls program, and we shared our musical talents at Washington Middle School. Do we have any of those musical types that went to Washington and taught lessons not in the choir? I think they were mostly instrumentalists. But soon, class of 2017, many of you will find yourself in a place of employment. You will go from being the product of the larger endeavor, which is Carthage, and a very fine product, I must say, to becoming a cog in a bigger picture. We will release you from this place where you've been encouraged, protected, challenged, the center of attention for every single department and employee on the campus. When you get where you are going, regardless of where that is, it may not take you long to realize that sometimes the big picture isn't always perfect. In fact, it never is. We don't always take the time that we could take to get to know each other. We don't always understand each other. We make assumptions about one another. We don't always treat, nor are we treated, with the respect that everyone deserves. And what we all need to realize, if we are compassionate people, is that everyone, every single person, will sooner or later be fighting a personal battle that we know nothing about. So it is really important in that workplace to be kind always. When you aren't fighting that personal battle, which you won't be doing a lot, you need to do the very best job you can in any job you elect to accept, because people are counting on you, and you are part of a larger purpose. And you do it without whining. You can vent once in a while. We all vent. That's different. Venting, you just get off your chest to a good friend or your spouse, and it goes away. You don't whine. That becomes a way of life, and it spoils what you're trying to do. No malice and a grateful heart that you are doing something that is important because people are counting on you to do that job and do it well. And if you can't, then it's time to move on to a place where you can. And when you find that right place, open your eyes, open your ears, and try to move outside your little plane or space that we all live in. Make a serious attempt to understand and get to know, in the big sense of word, respect and appreciate all those different cogs in your workplace that make up that bigger endeavor. Get to know the people who work for you and the ones you work for, because we all work for someone. Jobs are never just jobs. We sometimes say that to make us feel better when we're really stressed out. Oh, it's just a job. It's just a job. It's not. It's always about the people and the relationships. Mark Twain said that travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of people and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime. Now, he is clearly talking about travel abroad, and Carthage does a phenomenal job of getting people abroad. But I would also like to suggest that you don't have to go very far from home, or even your own workplace, across the hall, different building, to be a better ambassador of kindness, more open-minded, a bigger understanding of the bigger picture. In your programs, you found a little exercise. It's a paragraph or so with some blanks in it. And it was my hope that as you were sitting there waiting for the program to begin, you might try to start filling in those blanks on your own. I've done this about 5 different ways with 5 different people, places, or thoughts behind it. And so this is the way I filled it in when I thought about my 5 years of Carthage. What I know for sure is there is much I need to learn, and there is very little time to learn it. That nothing involving people is black and white, and living in my same little space and plane in the world won't cure my ignorance of other people's reality. That humble pie is the best bad thing to eat. And what you didn't say or do to help someone, or what you did say or do, may come back to haunt you. Now, this one's kind of a weird one. The odd connection between vulnerability and peace is like an alpha dog willing to roll over on his back. Anybody have an alpha dog at their house? I had an alpha puppy. He was an alpha puppy for about 5 years. And then when I finally gave up trying to teach him that I was the alpha dog, and we just worried about liking each other and trusting each other, rolled right over on his back and let me rub his belly. So it wasn't a power struggle. And you try to think of that in the big picture of the world. One of us rolling over and being vulnerable, and the rest of the world going, wow, maybe we can all do that. That's a ways off, I think, but there's hope. How silly assumption is. How having it we glimpse our choice to misunderstand. What I know for sure is that it's easy to be kind when it's easy, and it's scary to be vulnerable. I'm about to give somebody else a speech. For what I want is for us to be brave and willing to step outside our comfort zone. You being tolerant of my ignorance, me clasping your extended hand in friendship, your willingness to look beyond our differences to my heart and mine to yours. Love or compassion, like a free admission ticket, once guarded and withheld, now freely given, now freely accepted. As Patricia Hamilton in the class of 1978 said when she got her Beacon Award this year, I thought it was really great, so I stole it. As life draws to a close, it's the small acts of humanity that will be the measure of your days. Who you help when help is needed, whose hand you hold in times of sorrow or joy, who you comfort, care, laugh, and love. These will mean infinitely more to you at the end of your life than titles, salaries, the size of your house, or the make of your car. Kindness, in the end, will carry the day. What makes me feel at peace as I leave Carthage is knowing what amazing men and women we're sending out into the world. They know many of these things already. I also feel like for maybe the very first time in my life, I did a little bit better job of getting to know, respect, and understand in a more genuine and earnest way the people who all have names and lives, who represent each cog in the bigger endeavor. Best wishes, almost graduates. I hope you continue to expand and improve your brains, and I challenge you to continue to expand your heart as well. We all have room for improvement. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name's Mary Weir, and I'm a double major in English and Spanish here at Carthage. And I'm going to read to you a piece from sacred scripture that brings me peace and goes along with our theme tonight. It's Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 through 2 from the Bible. When he saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he had sat down, his disciples came to him. He began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you, and utter every kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven. Thus they persecuted the prophets who were before you."
I'm Carl Steffens. I'm an instrumental performance major with a German minor, and I will be reading a poem by Mary Oliver. The title is When Death Comes. When death comes, like the hungry bear in autumn, when death comes and takes all the bright coins from his purse to buy me and snaps the purse shut, when death comes like the measles pox, when death comes like an iceberg between the shoulder blades, I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering what is it going to be like, that cottage of darkness. And therefore, I look upon everything as a brotherhood and sisterhood. And I look upon time as not more than an idea, and I consider eternity as another possibility. And I think of each life as a flower, as common as a fiddle daisy and as singular, and each name as a comfortable music in the mouth, tending, as all music does, towards silence. And each body a lion of courage and something precious to the earth. When it's over, I want to say, all my life I was a bride married to amazement. I was a bridegroom, taking the world into my arms. When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I have made my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened, or full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited the world.
I'm Jamie Hill. I'm graduating tomorrow with degrees in religion and music. I'll be reading from the Bible. I'll be reading from the Old Testament, from Psalm 91, a hymn that, just a psalm that really reflects kind of the inner peace that I find in the security that I have, knowing what I know about my faith. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will not only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked, because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge. No evil shall be allowed to befall you, no plague come near your tent. For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot. Because he holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him. I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
I'm Amanda Pastula, and I am graduating tomorrow with majors in psychology and religion, and I will be reading from the Quran. O humankind, we have created you from a single pair of male and females and made you into tribes and families so that you may know one another and build mutuality and cooperative relationships, not so that you may take pride in your differences of race or social rank or breed animosity.
I'm loud. Not because I'm Baptist, it's because I'm from New Jersey. There are soft-spoken Baptists. I am not one. I'm Phineas Marr. I pastor the First Baptist Church here in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and I am an adjunct professor of religion here at Carthage, and I have been that for 4 years. And it has been my joy to be so. Carthage, even though I'm Baptist and from New Jersey, saved my soul. And I'm not ashamed to say that. Carthage saved my soul. I have been through a huge amount of changes in the 4 years I have been here personally. And had it not been for the opportunity to teach and for this community, especially this community of students, to be present with me through some of those journeys, I don't think I'd have any noodle left. And I'm not exaggerating there. These young people have meant the world to me. And this particular class is the one I started with. So they've been here 4 years, I've been here 4 years. And they have taught me much. And that's really what I want to focus on tonight, what I've learned from them. You know, when you're a teacher, you have a choice. You can walk in the classroom and say, this is how you should teach, and this is how I'm going to teach, and they're going to learn this way. Or you can kind of try to step into their world and see how you can communicate best to where they're at. B is better. The second one's better. So, right now, I would imagine, especially after, how about the choir, huh? Really? Seriously. You know, I'm listening to them and I'm feeling downright righteous. And And that's what peace is. You know, in my tradition, Judeo-Christianity, shalom is the word, and it means well-being on all levels. That's what it is. And so as you sit here with your family on the verge of graduation and your friends are here and you're thinking about how great this moment is, that's it. That's peace. You've already got it. And that's important for you to know, because you don't know what the heck is waiting for you outside of this place. Now, if anyone had told me 30 years ago in New Jersey that I'd be in Wisconsin of all places, teaching religion at a Lutheran school, being a pastor of a church for 25 years, I would have said, "You're nuts." But here I am. And these students have roped me into playing the spoons for them every time they have a late night breakfast for their exam. So please understand that twice every year I beat myself to death with a pair of kitchen utensils for their entertainment. And I couldn't be more privileged to do so. But I didn't know any of that was going to happen. I had no idea that was going to happen, but I didn't know where I was going, but I knew who I was walking with. And that's where your peace comes from. It comes from your now. It comes from where you are right now. Don't make the mistake of thinking that this moment is going to fade. See, that's what we think. We think these moments are great, but now we're going to go into the real world and lose it. No, you don't want to lose it. You want to keep it. Because this is peace. You got it. It's just a matter of learning how to get back to where you are at this moment. Now, students love to get A's, so I'm going to give you 4. I define peace as the awareness of the awesomeness of all of it that you can call up anytime. The awareness of the awesomeness of it all that you can call up anytime. See? You want to learn how to go out into the world and come back to this. So, the students like to challenge me. You know, when I play the spoons, I play bluegrass. And in my classes, I bring in music that I think has spiritual meanings to kind of teach them how to look for religion in everyday life, you know. But they challenged me this term. They said, "You know, Professor, you really ought to use some music from this decade." I'm old. So they said, "You really ought to try to find some hip-hop we could use." It was shocking. But there's different levels of... But see, here's the thing. The universe, divinity, transcendence, the God of your understanding, whatever you want to call that which people of my persuasion are convinced exists, has a way of opening you up. And when you talk about peace, you are talking about accepting the fact that maybe you might not be right about everything. And I said, "I don't like rap." The first time I was ever stodgy. But, you know, they challenged me, so I took a listen to it. And I didn't just take a listen to it, I learned something about it. And what I learned, I think, is a great metaphor, because religion and spirituality is all about metaphors, you know. For getting yourself back to your sweet spot. That's what I'm going to call your place of peace. It's your sweet spot. It's where you feel righteous and good and everything's together. It's inside you. And when you get in touch with it, you create a sacred space for yourself. And that's all the spiritual masters ever teach. Okay? When you're talking about Buddha being enlightened under the Bodhi tree, Abraham hearing the call of God and setting out to start the nation of Israel, not knowing where he's going, Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, Lao Tzu sitting by a river contemplating nature, Confucius saying it's Ren, the gentlemanliness that makes for a civilized society. It's your sweet spot. But hip-hop taught me a new metaphor. Oh boy, here we go, folks. Hip-hop did not get started with rap. That's what I thought. It got started by the establishment of the groove. See, these guys in the South Bronx would take records. You all know what records are, right? And turntables, that's what they play the records on, you know? They would take 2 of them, and then they would find 70s funk music like James Brown. Google that if you don't know what he is. Good Lord, you should know who he is, but if you don't, Google that. And in the middle of the song, there'd be a percussive break, or there'd be a heavy rhythm. And they learned to, when they got to that spot, that piece of music that really had the rhythm, they learned, when it got to the end, to take their finger and bring it back just to the place where it started again. See, they found this sweet spot in the song. And then they learned how to do it with 2 records. And they established the groove. So they would play one while they were turning back the other one. And they just kept the groove going. So it'd be like boom 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 boom. Now see, something magical happens when you get in the groove. See, they started rapping because they got in the groove. Something magical happens to people when they get in their groove. Go to a wedding, people who are serious, like, this is our time to really let go, baby. And they get into it and they celebrate with each other, and it's wonderful, but people think they have to leave that. No, 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 no. Spirituality is about getting back in your groove when the world is taking it away from you. Boom, 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 boom. It's when you face the unknown and it freaks you out that you got to get back into your groove, and you got to find your own groove. You know, the choir has a groove. It's not boom, 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 but it's their groove, and boy, it works. You just got to find yours, you know. So something magical happens when you find that groove and you learn to get back into it. Say, because you can get back to your place of peace, even though the world's throwing stuff at you that you didn't expect. Oh my gosh, I'm an accountant, and I just found out one of my major clients is embezzling funds. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to be okay because I'm in my groove now. Huh? Oh my gosh, I've been seeing this guy for 6 months and I found out he's cheating on me. What am I going to do? That's right, I'm in my groove. I figure it out. The universe, yes, that's right. The universe gives you cool things when you get into your groove. For example, lyrics. This is called Teaching at Carthage. Boom, 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 boom. Old guy standing in the classroom trying to teach religion. Is it real? Is it in our minds? Is it superstition? Students sitting in their chairs thinking this guy's a sap. Hey, maybe I can get their attention if I learn to rap. Rap about God, G-O-D, the big being in the sky. I know I got to tell the truth because they'll know if I lie. Hey! It's true, folks. You find your sweet spot. And if you learn to go back to it, and that's all the spiritual masters teach you. You know? They want you to find that place. They want to find you to find your place. Like Muhammad found his cave where he heard the Quran. I want you to find that place where you got your groove and learn to go back to it. That's spiritual technique. Whatever works for you, but do it. Say, because once you find that, you're going to know who you're walking with in life. And you don't need to know where you're going because you know who you're walking with. And I'm here to tell you, the universe gives you some wonderful companions. And I had no idea. I didn't pick this for myself. It was given to me. And grace, my tradition calls it grace. And once you find that sweet, and for me, Carthage is definitely a sweet spot. Hey, even a 55-year-old white guy can learn to rap. You saw it yourself. Who knows what you'll do when you stay in your groove, but find it. You're a wonderful student, and I thank you so much for asking me to do this. It was my privilege. And I wish you peace. I'm out of here.
So all of these readings are testimonials from the graduating class of 2017 when asked the question, what piece of their time gives them peace as they leave Carthage?
The time at Carthage that gives me peace is the time I spent with my friends, and the friends I will be keeping as I leave this place. Carthage has given me many joys that I hold dear, and I will miss it and cherish its memories as I continue life away from it.
All of the time spent with my professors outside of class, who helped me learn and grow with patience, gives me peace as I leave, knowing it was all worth it, and that I am more ready for post-grad life than I would be if it were not for them.
I trust that the relationships that I've made will last and thrive even after leaving Carthage.
I appeared before the committee to appeal my getting kicked out of school. I humbled myself, and it became the most pivotal moment of my life. That moment changed everything. I realized I was brave enough to trust Carthage, and I was brave enough to bet on myself.
Looking at the water. My time alone or walking to class, that water was always there. No problem was bigger than the lake, and now, whenever I see a big body of water, it brings me absolute peace.
I put every ounce of my energy into success at Carthage, and have gone from academic probation to making the dean's list with straight A's several times since then. It was then that I started to absorb what Carthage had to offer me, and with that came great personal growth that is truly priceless to me.
I have been able to take classes about different religions to gain a better understanding about them and, in turn, learn more about my own faith.
I take peace in my peers. I have watched them grow into incredible and diverse people. Knowing that they will have a hand in shaping the world, even in a small way, gives me hope and determination to make the world better too.
I leave at peace because I put everything I had into my time here. I absorbed everything I could, and now it is time for me to take my experience here and run with it, forever grateful. It brings me peace knowing that I shared my language and my culture with students, some of which I might have inspired to continue with the language, some who just became curious to see what else is out there.
I'm much more confident in my abilities. Carthage has taught me about my self-worth and how I should give 100% to the things I love.
Learning about other people's cultures and religious beliefs has made me be able to connect and understand where others are coming from, furthering my understanding and connection to the people I've had the privilege to call my current and past classmates.
I have peace knowing that those who have helped shape me will do great things in the future, and that those that have already graduated have been doing great things to help change stigmas that surround multiple problems in our society to ensure that everyone has the right to be themselves without fear of violence.
The unknown is a frightening thought.
I'm thankful for the people God has placed in my life over my time at Carthage and the support they give me on a daily basis.
Carthage has provided me with support, experiences, and opportunities that I could never imagine for myself. The first time I came to Carthage as a prospective student, I felt a connection to the campus and knew this was the place I wanted to spend my next 4 years. I have peace of mind that the next milestones I approach in my life will be due in part to Carthage and its outstanding community.
The peace of my time at Carthage, which gives me peace, are the countless opportunities it has offered me to connect with people from all different beliefs and walks of life.
It also brings me peace to have taken part in starting the club Catholics at Carthage, along with other students enthusiastic about sharing faith, as it provides Catholics a chance to share their faith life with each other and others in the community. Oftentimes, it is easy to hold a view of a certain faith or belief based solely on perspectives portrayed in the media or through a group which represents them. But interacting with people on a one-on-one basis makes a religion or faith tradition more real.
I think it is important to have people from all across the board converse in order to realize the beauty and similarities within each one of us and how that translates into being a wholesome community. Thank you.
So I was really nervous about having to speak, but next time I realize every time I ever get nervous to just picture a 55-year-old white dude rapping. So thank you, Phineas. This is going to be a lot easier. Anyways, hello, my name is Danny Targos, and I am a graphic design student here at Carthage. And for the past couple of years, I have served as the Interfaith Student Coordinator. A few weeks ago, I had a conversation with Ibu Patel, the president and founder of the Interfaith Youth Corps. And he asked me, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I looked at him and I told him, "Honestly, I don't even know where I see myself in 1 week. Really, the most I can do in seeing myself in 5 years is that I am alive." So I, like many of my fellow classmates, don't have any sort of plan or amazing job lined up for me after graduation. And the thing is, we don't get to hear much about those of us who don't have a plan or any sort of clue. So honestly, I don't have much peace in the unknown. However, I know this discomfort with not knowing what comes next stems from a narrative that we've been taught for years. And this is a narrative that says we go to college, we get a job soon afterwards, we move out, and we become independent and make our own way in the world. And somehow this narrative serves as the line for what we consider success and the norm to be. However, this narrative extends even further back to what the college experience is supposed to be like. When I first came to Carthage, all anyone told me was to get out of my comfort zone. Yeah. And if I struggled, I was told, "It's just a big adjustment period." Yeah, I'm not the only one. I heard all of the stories from my friends and family, books and media, that college was going to be where I made friends right away. I was going to get along with everybody in my major, and I was going to meet all sorts of new people, and I was going to finally discover who I am. It was a narrative that I had been fed for so long that it had to be true, right? Well, my first few years at Carthage were far from great, for a lack of a better way to put it. All of those things that I had been taught to believe were going to happen in college didn't, and believe me, it wasn't for a lack of trying. I found myself starting the process of transferring about 3 times during my first 2 years here at Carthage. But finally, I realized that I was never going to fulfill this idea of what the college experience is supposed to be like. I was never going to follow this narrative. And because of this, I figured I might as well create my own narrative. If I wasn't going to find a place where I fit in at this school, I was going to make one. And thus began Interfaith. It began with Interfaith Lunch. I started attending the program second semester of my sophomore year, and I fell in love with the idea of Interfaith. The format of the program consisted of a weekly speaker coming in to share their religious or non-religious beliefs, all while sharing a meal with people of different identities. This idea thrilled me, but I wanted there to be a more involved space for people of different beliefs and ideologies, whether they be religious or secular, to come together and discuss their common values and work together on projects for the common good. The Center for Faith and Spirituality was looking for someone to start a more extensive interfaith program here on campus, and I was more than happy to apply. So from there, I was granted the opportunity to attend the Interfaith Leadership Institute in Chicago, which was put on by the Interfaith Youth Corps. At this conference, hundreds of college students from all over the country come together to learn how to bring interfaith cooperation back to their campuses. And I met so many amazing people, and I was inspired. Interfaith was something I truly believed I could bring here to Carthage. Once on campus the next fall, I spoke to as many people as I possibly could about this vision for interfaith. Sure enough, I had pulled together a group of people who were just some of the most amazingly passionate people I had ever met. And thus, my executive board, featuring an atheist, a pagan, a spiritual non-religious philosophy lover, and a spiritual Catholic, helped me to create a group on campus that we called the Better Together Interfaith Movement. We started off small, but we offered trips to many religious houses of worship, and we planned visits to the Shalom Center to serve food. Interfaith Lunch grew from having about 20 people weekly to an astounding 40 to 50 people of staff, faculty, and students alike. Our first big event, called Better Together Day, brought in 40 people wanting to learn about the importance of interfaith. So spring of 2016, I then applied to be a student coach for the Interfaith Youth Corps, and this position would require me to travel across the country to different conferences that they put on to then teach other college students about interfaith cooperation. I fortunately was offered a spot out of the 100 applicants considered for the position, and so not only was I going to be able to bring interfaith to Carthage, but I was helping colleges across the country bring interfaith cooperation to their campuses. But it really wasn't until earlier this past semester that I truly understood the impact of what I had created. We were planning an event called Talk Better Together, and this event had different activities that would get people from many diverse groups on campus to talk about their values, that are brought on by their unique identities. We promoted the event for months, having spoken to student club leaders and religion professors, as well as attending meetings of different organizations. And I was terrified that no one was going to come. But sure enough, over 40 people came on a Friday evening to learn about interfaith cooperation. And it wasn't just students, it was also staff, faculty, and even some of their kids. And it was then that I realized that I had helped Interfaith at Carthage go from a small group of people meeting once a week during lunch to truly being the Better Together interfaith movement. And it was something that I had never expected because this wasn't a part of the narrative that I had been told. Nowhere in that narrative did it say, you're gonna go to college and you're gonna start a movement. And as if it couldn't get any better, Ibu Patel, the president of the Interfaith Youth Corps, came to Carthage to speak and to see what sort of interfaith work we had been doing. And he was impressed with the progress that we had made in 2 years. I told him that I had no clue what I was getting myself into, and he looked at me and said, no one ever knows what they are getting themselves into. So looking at where I am now, Ibu had asked me where I see myself in 5 years, and of course I told him I have no clue. I find myself afraid of what is to come, but if there's anything that I've learned in the past few years, it is that I am resilient and ambitious. So while I might not have peace in the unknown, I at least have peace in knowing that I am capable of making my own way in the world. I haven't been following the narrative. Instead, I have been creating my own. If you are like me and you have any fear in the unknown, or if you don't have any sort of plan set up for you after graduating, please look at the narrative that is uniquely you. Despite what you may hear from others or the media, I promise you that you are doing just all right. Go out and write your story. Thank you.
Please stand. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring love. Where there is offense, let me bring pardon. Where there is discord, let me bring union. Where there is doubt, let me bring faith. Where there is despair, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, let me bring your light. Where there is sadness, let me bring joy. O Master, let me not seek as much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that one receives. It is in self-forgetting that one finds. It is in pardoning that one is pardoned. It is in dying that one is raised to eternal life.
Holy One of blessing, we are grateful for this creation, for our lives, and for this moment. We are grateful for the opportunities we have had here at Carthage, opportunities to learn, to grow, to build relationships, to serve, and opportunities to love. We give thanks for the Carthage faculty and staff who have nurtured us along this journey. May we ever have minds that learn, eyes that see the beauty and good that surrounds us, hands that serve, and hearts that yearn for justice. May we seek unity without requiring uniformity, and may peace, joy, and love be with us all of our days.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, and yesterday was good for that. I'm refreshed every evening.